Today we're going to be playing around with the Woodland Mills HM136MAX portable sawmill. I'm going to be taking some time and installing this bad boy. This is the Woodland Mills power head. Any sawyers out there will be familiar with what the power head is, but basically it's an electric lifter, right? In order for me to lift up the cutting head, you have to turn this sucker, you got to turn it up. If you want to lower it, you got to turn this. And I mean, doing this 1,000 times a day can get tiresome. So there's a big rig that you got to mount. It's connected to the battery and the engine and all that. And then you can just push a button, simple as that. So we're going to figure that out, get that on, and then we're going to put it to the test and saw that log that's on the ground right there. And hopefully we're going to be using the new power head to do it. This is what comes right out of the box. You obviously have the power head unit itself. It looks like this is some kind of a little pin. You got a whole bunch of these metal shims, and this looks like some kind of a gear. Maybe it fits into that thing, and who knows, I'll figure it out. And it comes with the manual, of course. First thing we got to do is get this cutting head lowered all the way it can go right to the bottom. Gotta loosen off this jam nut. You want to use a 5mm hex key and kind of screw this in until it no longer sticks in. There we go. Now way up inside there's a little tiny pin. You see it there? We gotta hammer that little pin out so that we can take this whole handle mechanism off. There it is right there, little pin. There it is right there. Now this thing is just flopping there. I wonder if it just comes off. There you go, just comes off just like that. Cool. Now we have to remove this little wheel. Now we need to use some of these shims that they've given us. It's not really telling you exactly how many shims you need. It's just saying you got wide shims and narrow shims, and you have to put the wide ones along there and the narrow ones along there and try to get these set screws a little bit tight so it won't wiggle. If we're looking at the power head, I guess it's this little section right here, this square section with the shims. Because this, I guess, is that square section, but this is a lot smaller, so you need a lot of shims to build it up. Well, they've given a lot of shims. These are all the narrow shims. There must be like 30 pieces there. And then these are all the wide ones. I have to just figure out the shim quantity in order to make it a tight fit. Looks like these 3 shims are a lot thicker. These ones here are very paper thin. I guess it would be the same for these. These ones are thicker. 1, 2 of the thick ones. There's a thick one right there. There, so 3 thick ones. And then these are all very paper thin. So it's basically suggesting that you put your shims and then wrap it with Scotch tape temporarily while you slide this over the shims. While you're holding this thing and trying to slide it on, what's going to hold the shims? So they're telling you to use Scotch tape. I got duct tape. I don't think I got Scotch tape. Okay, lucky me, I do have Scotch tape. I had no idea. Problem is, you don't know the thickness yet. So you're going to put this on and try to figure out the thickness, and then put the Scotch tape to hold it all in, and then try to put the power head over it. And if it's still too loose, you got to take the tape off and do it all over again until you get a snug fit, I guess. Oh, great. My Scotch tape got all stuck together. Let's try this again. Let's try it. I got 4 shims in there and 4 shims in there. Let's see if that's the right thickness. I'm guessing this goes in here. I don't know if you do that before or after. Just a little tip for anybody who's doing this. There's a hole right there on top there. That little screw needs to line up with the hole in here. So I've already put this on, which is a mistake. What I need to do is pull this back off, and then you need to turn this to make sure that the two holes line up. And then you can push it on and tighten up these screws down here to make it secure. See that hole there? You got to line it up. Just trying to get those holes to line up. Then you just got to go in and tighten up this set screw here. And you got to put that pin back in that hole. So now that this thing is mounted, we got to figure out the electrical connections. It says to plug this in to this. Okay, looks simple. Guess that just goes in there. I don't know what this is for. I guess that's for pulling it apart. And then these go on the battery terminals. So we got the black to the black and the red to the red, and I guess I'll put the cover back on and try to figure out how that's gonna hide around the corner there. Looks like we got power though. Probably shouldn't use it without running the motor though. That's a good sign though. I'll get this covered and we'll get it started up. I guess this can just tuck in there, and you know, I guess you need to have a certain amount of slack here so that as it goes up and down, I guess. We'll see if it interferes with the way I work. This is just kind of hanging there. I don't know, maybe you can zip tie it up there or something. I'll play with it for a little while and see if I'm comfortable. It's a good thing I got this finished today, and this beautiful 10-inch beam. This is 13 feet long. I think I just need 12 feet, so I'll have to trim it a bit when I'm ready to use it. But it's 10 inches by 5.5 inches. It's a beautiful maple. And I mean, there are a couple of curves in the wood, so it's not exactly perfect. I'll just have to shave off the bark a little bit, but it's going to be okay. I just need to make a lean-to shelter out of it. But look at this. The beautiful snow is back again. But at least I got my sawmill shelter to work under without getting snowed on or rained on, and it's awesome. None of my stuff is getting wet. That's my firewood station over there. I got drying lumber. I threw all the slabs right here because I'm going to get the chainsaw out and turn them into firewood. Some of this stuff I'll be able to use too. I'll be able to turn some of them into planks, and I have a plan to make a couple pieces into live edge boards. But I'm just putting them here for now. So that's not a bad maple beam at all. But I don't need it to look good. This is just for a lean-to shelter I'm going to do in the spring. Got these black marks here. That's from when the blade was binding. But it's really a beautiful beam. Regardless, if I wanted to make it beautiful, I could just give it a sanding. The snow is slowly coming in on an angle. It's a good thing I'm done. I can close up my doors. At least once I got these big barn doors closed, my sawmill is nice and cozy out of the weather. Well, that's it for the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the entertainment, and maybe you learned how to install the power head if you're going to be doing that soon. So anyhow, I got to get out of this snow. This is just ridiculous. I really do appreciate you watching. If you're new to the channel, or if you've missed it for whatever reason, I built this wicked awesome sawmill shelter wood yard workspace, and I believe it's 14 episodes. There's a playlist. I'm going to put it up on the screen right now, and if you want to click it, you can watch it, and you can see how I did this all alone, mind you. That's a feat, an accomplishment, and I'm proud. Thanks for watching. You guys take care.